What's up guys, Dirk here from IntelligentCryptocurrency.com. Today I want to look at, again, following up on the last video, at some market cycles, but more in the general picture of where we are in the overall cycle. Because as you know, with all investments, there are cycles, okay? There are lows and there are highs and there are in-betweens. And obviously the ideal thing that you want to do as an investor is you want to buy the lows and you want to sell the highs, or at least be able to ride out the largest portion of that move up. You're never going to be able to sell the exact top, okay? So you're either going to end up selling too early, which means you lose out on future potential gains, or you're going to sell too late, and again, you miss out on future potential gains. And that's something you have to be okay with. But in general, if you can get 70 to 80% of the ride up, then you're doing pretty well. And if you can get in low and sell high, then you're doing it right. Now, most of the people will do the exact opposite. They will not get in when the sentiment is low, when the prices are low. They will ignore it. They won't want to pay attention to it. And they will watch it go higher and higher and higher and higher until it gets to a point where there's almost that euphoria and that mania. And that's when they finally decide, after the thing's gone up so much already, to get in. And that's usually near the top. Then what tends to happen is, shortly after that, the whole market peaks, crashes, goes all the way back down, drops 50, 60, 70%. That's when most of those people who bought high end up selling. All right, so you have to be very much aware of this. This is just market psychology and human psychology. It's not specifically related to cryptocurrencies, but since this is a channel about crypto, that's what this is about. So if you're new to the channel, consider subscribing below. If you do, make sure you click the notification bell. And as always, if you do enjoy the content, I really appreciate it if you do give the channel a thumbs up. Leave a comment below with your thoughts. It really helps the channel. It helps the algorithm get this video out to more people so more people can learn about cryptocurrencies. So what I want to show you today is a chart that you've probably seen many times. What this is the psychology of a market cycle. It is the Wall Street cheat sheet, and it goes through the various stages of a market cycle, from peak to trough and back to peak. So these are generally the phases and the emotions that people go through in terms of markets. Okay, so starts out with disbelief. Okay, that's after a long period of time where the market has crashed, nothing's really happening, people just don't believe it. They've been so conditioned that throughout a bear market, price goes up and it just keeps going lower and it keeps going lower. So when it finally does start to move higher, it's, hey, this rally is going to fail just like the others. Then as it continues, move past that disbelief phase, there's the hope phase. Hey, this thing is actually here. Maybe it'll continue. Maybe there's hope. And then it continues going higher, and then it's optimism, and it's like, wow, I'm getting rich. I'm checking my portfolio every 10 minutes. The prices just keep going up. Every single day, the prices are going up. Oh, this is awesome. This is awesome. It's starting to get there. So people start to get excited. Then comes the belief phase, time to get fully invested. As it continues to accelerate and go higher, you get to the thrill and the euphoria phases. And the thrill and the euphoria is basically where, like, I'm gonna get rich. I never have to work again in my life. I'm gonna quit my job. I'm gonna tell my family and the haters that never believed in me. I'm gonna tell them, I'm done with you. I'm gonna go buy myself an island and a private yacht. That is kind of the emotional phase. And obviously when you see that, that's when it nears the peak. And that's obviously also the part in the market where the prices accelerate incredibly steeply and quickly. That's when we start seeing, for example, like what we're seeing with Tesla right now. We're seeing 15, 20, 30% gains in a week in something like Tesla. We saw this also in the crypto space in the end of 2017, early 2018. Everyone thought they were going to be rich. No matter what you did, no matter which coin you bought, it was going up and it was going higher and it was going higher. And that's when you have that euphoria. The Uber drivers were all saying, hey, have you bought Bitcoin? Have you bought this latest coin? Have you bought this? All the YouTubers, all the people on social media, they were all getting it right. They were all, no matter what you did, you'd buy something and it'd just go up and up and up. And obviously at that point, that is the contraindicator. So when you see that, it's time to get cautious and time to start analyzing, hey, are we getting near a top? Because it's just not possible for everyone to get rich like that and for the market to continue going up like that. And then we get a massive correction. But because we're still in that euphoria and thrill phrase, there's the complacency. It's like, oh, it's gone up so much. It's okay. it's a normal correction. It's healthy. It's in a normal market, and we get kind of this sideways treatment. Complacency, yeah, it's okay. It's gonna go up again. Don't worry. It's just a small correction, and then the cycle's reversed, and it starts to drop, and then it starts to drop and drop and drop. Anxiety. Why is this happening? What's going on? This is taking longer than it should. Why is it not going up? Continues going down. My investments, it's okay. I believe in this. It's going to come back. Continues to drop and drop. And you get panic, capitulation. And then at some point, you just get so angry at it. It's like, I've lost all my money. Why did I do this in the first place? I'm such an idiot. Blah, blah, blah. And then it continues going. And then you get this long, extended bear market, which usually lasts anywhere between 1, 2, 3 years, where the market just goes sideways and it goes up and it goes down lower and it goes down lower and it goes sideways. And it's just, my money is gone. I'm depressed. And then the cycle repeats once again. Then we get to the point of disbelief. Now, because we've gone through such a long phase over here in the market cycle of being angry and having the market go sideways and down and sideways and down and being down 50, 60, 70, 80, 90% on your original investment, depending obviously where you bought, any rally, you've just been so conditioned that it's just going to sell off again and it's going to dump again. And I think that's where we are right now in the markets. We are at the disbelief stage. And just looking at the cryptocurrency market cap as a whole and just kind of overlaying it or comparing it side by side to the market cheat sheet, you can see we went through that exact phase. We went sideways, then we got all the different stages, the disbelief, the hope, the optimism, the thrill, the mania, the complacency, and then back down, down, down the opposite side. And then we got this whole sideways movement, which is basically like the sideways, the anger, the depression. And now we're getting to a point where cryptocurrencies seem to be popping. And it seems to be like, this has happened so many times, I don't believe it. And I'm in the stage of disbelief, okay? I, at this point in time, don't really believe that this is the real thing. But at some point, it is going to be the real thing. And then it's going to move past the disbelief stage. It's going to move into the hope stage. And for me, that would be like Bitcoin actually getting above 14,000. So above the high of 2019. Once Bitcoin gets above that, and I'm not talking for a day or two, I'm talking like sustained for at least a couple of weeks, maybe 1, 2 full weekly closes above that, then we get to the hope phase, for me personally anyway. And then it starts to go up, and then we repeat the whole cycle again. So it's very good to be aware of the cycle. And I think if this cycle is going to repeat and we are going to get another bull market, which things seem to be all lining up towards that, then just be aware of once we get to the thrill and the euphoria stages. And who knows when that's going to be. That could be at 30,000 Bitcoin. It could be at $50,000 Bitcoin. It could be 100, 200, $500,000 Bitcoin. I don't know, right? The euphoria and the thrill phases, it could end up going very, very high. But be aware of that, and be aware that at some point you're likely going to want to take profits. Because if you ride it all the way up, and your net worth is a few new houses and a few Bugattis or whatever it is, that's all great. But if you don't take those profits, and if it's all paper profits and it goes all the way back down again, well, guys, that is not ideal, right? Then you had the ride, yes, great, but you didn't cash out the money. So it's very important before this all happens to be aware of this. Actually, just what you should do? You should print this out and hang it in front of your computer, so that you keep looking at it every single day to remind yourself of these market cycles. Because at some point, we will get a thrill and we will get a euphoria. And it's good to take profits before the market collapses and rides down, another 50, 60, 70, 80%. And we get another 2 or 3 year bear market. So I just wanted to share this with you now that we're still in the early stages. For me, it feels like we're in disbelief. I don't really know, of course. It's never possible to really pinpoint it, but I think we're getting towards a point where it's disbelief. I don't really believe all these altcoins are popping. We're seeing hundreds of percent gains. It feels like it's a little bit of a trap where it's just going to dump back down again. That's how we've been conditioned over the last 2.5 years. So we'll have to see, is it going to actually break through this, and are we going to go and move higher and then get into a hope phase and an optimism phase? I mean, based on the previous cycles, it is completely possible that is what is about to happen. Since if you haven't seen it yet, go watch my last video. I'll link to it up here. So I talk about the Bitcoin halving cycle. So after the date of the halving, how much time is needed before we get that new peak and that new bull market. And you know, based on that, if that's going to repeat, it's looking like this is what's going to set up. So that's all I wanted to share with you today. I hope you enjoyed this video. Give it a thumbs up, smash that like button. If you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, please go and subscribe below. Hit the notification bell when you do. If you have any questions, leave a comment. I always read them personally. I always answer personally. And finally, before I let you go, if you do want to know more about cryptocurrencies, right? If you want a monthly newsletter, if you want monthly updates with research and insights and all the news aggregated in an easy to digest way, if you want access to tutorials, if you want access to special reports, and if you want access to me personally and all the other members in a private chat community, then you should look at intelligentcryptocurrency.com, which is my premium education program and community. The link will be in the description below, and the fee to join it is far, far less than the value that you're going to get in return. So that's it from me today. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Peace.